What's up, friends? Jill here. Welcome back. I just got a phone call from Nathan that our chicks are at the post office and ready to be picked up. And by the look of my hands, I have been working hard today. And so I knew that the chicks would come in either today or tomorrow. So I had it on my list of things to do today to get the feeder and the water and get chick starter out and all that stuff for the birds. But I finally got the tunnel cleaned out. That is what I was determined to get that done this week. I'm hoping to this weekend go and get some starts if there's any available. I'm just going to kind of check it out, check out some local nurseries and see. So I'm about to head out into the chicken yard and fill up some waters, make sure that there are shavings in the little brooder area on the back of the chicken coop, and everything's just ready. I'm going to have to do that, press pause, go and get Charlie from school, go pick up the chicks, come back and start and finish the project. You know, it's so funny, we get asked all the time, me specifically, you know, people are like, how do you juggle doing this and being a mom? And really, you do what you can do, you know? I mean, I was in the middle of one project, I had to start that to do this project, I'm gonna have to stop and, you know, pick Charlie up from school, and you just try to make it work. And I have found for me personally, I used to get really discouraged because I'd start something and then I would have to stop and do something else. And I didn't ever feel like I was really being productive. And that bothered me, like my type of personality, like that really affected me. And I've learned that it really is a privilege to be able to take care of my kids and farm and homestead and do the things I'm passionate about. And I've learned to just kind of go with the flow. I've learned to just kind of not set high expectations for the day and set realistic expectations. I think that was really the biggest thing, is I always set these like expectations that I could have, like in a perfect world, never even, you know, gotten done. So I've learned to reshift, but it really is a privilege. I'm so relieved I got the stuff done in the tunnel. I did try to take down some of the cattle panels by myself. I'm sure you guys can imagine how well that went. So I'm gonna have to wait until I have Nathan. He can come help me. Hey doggies. Hello. That's a handful right there. Back up. This little guy got out the other day, didn't you? Come here, Simba. Did you get out? Huh? Lily, you need lovin's too. So Lily, our blue heeler, does stay in here. We were getting asked questions on, you know, is it safe for your heeler to be in there with your birds? She doesn't, you know, mess with them, and she doesn't. Sometimes she'll run up to them just being a turd, you know, but she doesn't ever mess. She's never killed a chicken. She's never harmed one of our chickens. She's never done anything like that. So we don't worry. We mainly, Simba likes having a companion, and so we were worried. Just, he's got really high anxiety. He was that way whenever we got him. And so we thought that being a new place and all, it would be better for him to adjust if Lily was in here with him. And so we did that, and it's just kind of worked out. Like, they have plenty of space to roam. We don't really have to worry about the road with Lily. That was kind of a concern of mine, is her getting out on the road chasing something. So it's actually worked really well, the both of them being in here. That was a really pathetic crow. Did you guys hear that? That was so pathetic. Alright, so this is where they're going to be. So like I had mentioned in a previous video, this was like their little brooder box. There's hay in there now. I'm actually going to add some shavings. It's plenty enough space. We only got 12 birds, and they're really little right now. So it's plenty enough space for us to have a little feeder in there, a water, and then they can see the other birds from in there. So we are certainly no chicken experts. However, chickens are the one thing we've had for the longest amount of time. And we've had, you know, meat birds before. We get baby chicks every spring. And so we're more familiar with chickens than we are any other animal. And so a few things that we have found really helpful is when you put whatever water you're going to put in there for them. This is actually kind of big, but whenever you do that, you want to make sure that you elevate it, but to where their beaks, like they can still get in there. But we have found if we just left the water in their ground level, they'll hop in there and they drown a lot, and it's really sad. And so we've always just made sure that we've kept our waters like up on something kind of elevated to where they can't just like waddle in there, because a lot of times, you know, when we're getting them in the spring and it's still cold, when they get wet, they just can't dry out fast enough. Or we know we go in there a couple times a day, but we're not in there all day long monitoring what's going on. And so that is something, if you have done chicks before and maybe had that issue, or maybe you're looking into doing chicks, that is one thing I would advise you to make sure you do, is just elevate that water a little bit, so you don't have to deal with that problem. So speaking of that, right now I'm on the hunt for something to elevate this and prop it up on. You don't have to worry about it as they get older, but just while they're little bitty things, these are probably like 1 to 2 day old chicks. Y'all come on out of here. Oh, we got some laying right now. So I was able to just find a brick paver, and that's what I stuck underneath there, and it worked well. It elevated enough. There's actually quite a bit more space in there than I thought too. I think the feeder that I originally had is kind of big, but we have one of those specifically for chicks that are like these really long, kind of set really low to the ground. I'm probably gonna try and find that in the garage and stick in there, because it'll just be a bit easier than the feeder I found. I will tell you guys though, one thing I appreciate so much about this farm, and it really is the little things, that there is like frost-free hydrants everywhere. So like there's a frost-free hydrant in here with the chickens. There's one in the raised bed garden. There's one down by the tunnels. There's one over by the backyard garden. You don't realize how big of a deal that is, but at our old farm, we literally just had to take like water hose and like drag them all around the property. We had one faucet off of our house that hooked up to, and that was something that you just get used to it. Like it doesn't become that big of a deal, but then when you have the luxuries in life and you have all these frost-free hydrants everywhere, it's like, oh, thank you, Lord. It's been really nice. All right, that is done. Now I'm gonna go get Charlie, head to the post office, and we'll finish this vlog whenever I get back. I did want to tell you guys though, y'all were so sweet about our little piggy video. It made my heart really happy. You guys are always just so supportive of what we do. It's really cool. Many of you guys though have been asking for Nathan to do more. Nathan prefers to do videos with me. He doesn't really like flying solo or talking just a whole lot in videos, which is weird because Nathan is like a chatterbox in real life. And so I think for him it's just different seeing himself on camera, and like y'all, what I do for a living is kind of crazy. I talk to you guys, but I don't actually get to see y'all. So for the most part, I talk to myself most of the day, and that Nathan has a hard time with that. But we have gotten so many comments and people reaching out to us saying that they would love to hear more from Nathan. I would love that too. I would love if maybe one video a week Nathan did and it was his perspective, because I think that's really cool. Like I show you guys how I see the farm, you know what I mean? Like I show you guys a lot of food things because that's what I'm drawn to, but Nathan's drawn to the animals and, you know, kind of the prep work for some of these places. So if you guys would like to see content like that from Nathan specifically, he reads all the comments, and he's the one who really does that. I try to hop on there every once in a while, but that's kind of Nathan's thing. Every night he goes through and tries to read and respond to those. So you guys, if you want to see more of Nathan, leave them in the comments, because he's going to be the one that sees them. I can already tell you how this conversation is going to go to. He's going to be like, what did you do? What did you say? It's kind of funny, but I would love that. I think that would be so cool. I love that you guys want to see more of him too. I think that that's really awesome. Just kind of getting the family involved a bit more will be really cool. So leave them in the comments. Do you want to see Nathan do content? If so, what kind of content? All right, guys, I will see you in the next clip, but for me, it'll be just a little while.
Oh, yeah.
All right, as you guys can see, I've made it back home. Much to my surprise, the chicks are in my bathroom. Didn't we say we were never gonna do that again?
Never say never.
Never say never. So, you wanna tell them the reason that they're in our bathroom?
I really don't know the reason. Other than I just got home and they're in my bathroom.
Well, so on the way to get the chicks, I had a thought that maybe the wire where they could see from that brooder into the coop was too small. And I didn't know if they could fit through the little squares. And then I thought, okay, well, if they can fit through the squares, we're gonna have to figure out something to block that off. And then I thought, well, what if the other birds can like try to get them in there? And so there were all those thoughts. So I temporarily put them in a tote with shavings in the bathroom while I hauled the chick starter from the back of the car down to the chicken coop, filled that up, filled the feeder up, did all things. Then we can't find a heat lamp.
That's because they're still at the other house.
And then we really don't want to do a heat lamp because we don't. We want to do one of those mother hen brooder thingies that they go underneath, but nowhere local. Nathan's went to like how many places? They're all sold out?
3 places, yeah. Went to Tractor Supply, didn't have one. We can order one online, but if it takes a week to get here, then...
I know. I may try to see if like we can get some 2-day shipping and get one in and then keep them in the bathroom temporarily, because our mornings...
Does Amazon have those?
Probably. Our mornings are like, I mean, this morning it was 56 degrees. It was glorious, but baby chicks temperature needs to stay, what is it, like between... It like
90, 95,
yeah,
probably.
Right. And apparently every week they're older, you can go down by 5 degrees that they need to stay. Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere.
I don't know where she got that from.
Let me Google that. I really feel like I...
Google.
We got stopped by kiddos. So Nathan's taking them outside real quick to drop them off. I had to Google it. Apparently so they should be at 95 degrees or like adequate, whatever, like outside temperature or their brooder that they're in. And then it says after 1 week, gradually reduce heat by 5 degrees Fahrenheit each week until reaching a minimum of 55 degrees. And that is from Purina. I think it's so funny too that I told you guys, oh yeah, we're most experienced in chicks than any other animal. And I'm over here Googling like, what is the temperature have to be? All right, you got them dropped off?
Got them dropped off.
Okay, I clarified the whole degrees thing. Apparently after you drop the temperature that they're in, you know, so like if it's a controlled breeder and you're a brooder and you have heat, you want to drop it down by 5 degrees every week until it gets to 55.
Never heard of that.
Really? Mm-mm. Well, Purina said it was true.
They would know more than I would.
So are you excited?
Yeah.
They're cute, y'all. I'll
Are.
show you guys more when we end up getting them into their permanent space.
Yeah, and this will probably work out great as far as the time of year. They'll start feathering out before it gets cold, you know, start laying in the spring. Be perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was telling them too. This is the first time that we've ever got chicks in the fall, and I'm curious to see. I know when we get them and it's still cold, it really is, it's stressful. I mean,
yeah,
it really is. And this is kind
we
of
always lose a lot.
We do. We lose a lot. We're always like ordering more than 12 at a time too, though. You know what I mean? So like, I'm hopeful. All of these came, they were perfect. And so usually it's the first few days of transition that is the hardest. And so we're keeping our fingers crossed. I just love baby chicks. And this is my favorite time of year. So it's like one of my favorite baby animals with my favorite time of year.
Sounds perfect.
It's just, and it's nice too, because one thing is that the temperatures were cooler. So they weren't being shipped when it was crazy, crazy hot either. I mean, it was in the 80s today, but it wasn't like normal, you know, end of August, beginning of September heat for around here.
Yeah. And I don't know what the temperature is up there where they're at, but I'm sure it's a little cooler.
Yeah, they're based out of Iowa. And I don't know, but I'm sure it is cooler too.
Yeah.
Well, we got to get on dinner, and I still don't know what I'm cooking yet.
Oh, you're cooking?
Yes. I don't know what I'm cooking yet. Nathan has men's group, but I wanted to finish this vlog because I kind of left you guys hanging earlier. But the chicks are here. I'll keep you posted next week. We'll do a video giving you some updates, showing you kind of the situation we have with them. Hopefully they'll be out in the chicken coop by then. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.